Two. Hi, nice to meet you online. I don't know whether, well, I'm just going to wait a couple more minutes because what we're going to do is I don't want anyone to miss the start of it where I tell you the story about how I actually started wearing weaves. My name is Brenda, and I am part of a family-owned business, online business, and what we do is we sell hair extensions. Now, some people look at me and think she's got locks and she's selling hair extensions, and this is exactly why I'm selling hair extensions. Even as a youngster, I had my hair natural, even though everyone else was relaxing. When I did eventually get round to relaxing my hair, I wore it relaxed for about 5 or 6 years, and I was relaxing and dyeing my hair all different colours, and then my hair started to get quite thin, and I started to sort of wonder maybe it was something I was eating, or maybe it was the different types of relaxers and the different types of hairdressers I was going to. So I carried on relaxing my hair. My hair wasn't getting any thicker. To begin with, prior to relaxing, I always had thin hair anyway. So then I carried on relaxing, and the hairdressers were quite happy to keep relaxing my hair and to keep dyeing. And then I noticed my hair it stopped taking a curl. So for instance, if I tried to put rollers in it, it wouldn't take the rollers. It sort of started to feel really dry and sort of quite straw-like. Carried on relaxing. I thought it was the grease I was using. We used to call it grease in those days. So I carried on relaxing, carried on putting on the grease until my hair started to break off in chunks, not evenly, in chunks all around my head. So then I started to cover it up a lot more. So I started wearing wraps, and just, even to just style it, it was becoming a pain. It was something you couldn't do. I couldn't do that because I had to think about how I was going to style my hair. Anyway, my hair started to break off. I started losing my confidence, not wanting to go out. And that continued, and it got worse, and the hairdressers just kept on steaming and steaming and steaming. It wasn't making any improvement. And then one day someone just suggested to me, why don't you why don't you start wearing weaves? And I was like, weaves? No, people are going to think I'm trying to be someone I'm not trying to be. So I thought I'll give it a go. So I went to the local store, the regular high street store, to buy weave, not knowing anything about weave. Went in there and I bought my first weave. So the first weave was about shoulder length, and my hair was probably had about an inch of regrowth, and all the rest was this really brittle, which was coloured brown as well, hair that was snapping off and not in any good condition at all. So it was really, really good. I felt really good having to actually put that away. And in that process of putting my hair away, my confidence came back. Not only because you couldn't see my hair, but also because I knew it was repairing itself under the weave. And I thought, what I'll do is I'll wear the weave until my hair was about 6 inches long, and then I would just relax it again. That was my initial thought of wearing the weave. But then as my hair grew, and every time I took off the weave, so I would put my weave on and take it off, and then I could see there was a little growth. And I was sort of liking that. It was all even, it felt good, even though I still had all the weak relaxers around my hair. It did feel good, feeling that nice growth. I like the texture, I like the way everything about it. So I carried on wearing the weave. So what I would do is the weave actually became a part of my routine. I actually fell in love with my hair. no longer wanted to relax it but wanted to protect it. So what I started doing was wearing the weave for maybe 6 weeks, taking the weave out, doing the normal maintenance on my hair and giving it all the extra love. And then I thought, no, I don't want to leave it out. I'm still not ready, because don't forget, I still also had that relaxer end. I didn't go for the big chop. It wasn't an option that I wanted to do at the time. That's how I carried on. So every 6 weeks, every 6-7 weeks, I'll take the weave off, give my hair a breather, do the normal maintenance, and the weave went back on. So I did that on and off for a couple of years, but during that time, my hair was probably now about shoulder length. And then what I would do then was put the weave on after my 7 weeks, take the weave off, do the maintenance, and instead of putting the weave back on, I would actually just do the 2-strand twist and leave my hair like that maybe for, a couple of weeks. And straight away, I wanted to protect my hair again, so I would put the weave back on, and that's what I did for several years. Even when my natural hair grew to past my shoulders, I would still wear the weave, because I at that time preferred shorter looks. So I would put my hair up and wear a short weave, even though my natural hair was actually longer than the weave that I was wearing. And that went on for a few years until I said, right, I no longer wanted to relax my hair. I was in love with my hair. I've been protecting my natural hair, been nurturing it. And one day I literally did the 2-strand and left it. So everything you see on my hair, well, obviously I've had it for, I've been wearing my hair locked for over 20 years. But everything that you see here has been nurtured. I was looking after it. I no longer wanted to wear the weave to cover it up, and I wanted to wear my hair out. But I literally started my locks through a 2-strand weave that I put in one day and I never took out, and it just carried on growing. People ask me whether I cut my hair. I do. I cut my hair quite often. At the moment, my locks are just on my bottom, and I don't sort of let it grow past that length. That's my personal choice. But I also want to say that buying weaves at that time, we used to just have to go to the local store, and buying weaves from the high street store, and not knowing anything about weave, just at that time wanted to protect my hair, was a definite no-no. Nowadays everyone knows a little bit more about weaves and what to look out for, but in those days they were selling what they called 100% virgin hair, which I initially bought, and after wearing it for about 2 or 3 weeks, it started to really mat. So straight away, now that I'm more informed, I know that wasn't virgin hair. To this day, some companies who aren't very reputable will try to pass off 100% virgin hair to you as weaves, and those bundles are usually mixed with animal hair or some kind of plastic fibre, but they still call it 100%, or let me rephrase that, they will still call it virgin hair because it may have a small proportion. It may have 40, 50, 60% of virgin hair and the rest will be fillers. So it will be animal hair, horse hair, any plastic fibre. So there are some of those around, so we need to be quite cautious when we're looking out for them. Because the other thing I noticed was when I was wearing the shop-bought weaves, and when it started to mat after 3 weeks, so it's obviously the weaves that they were selling in the shops then, maybe they still do it now, but you still have to be careful, is coated with a chemical called silicone. So basically what silicone does, it makes the hair smooth, and it makes it feel a little soft, and it gives it a kind of a shine. But after 2, 3, 4 washes, that silicone will eventually wash off, and then the strands will start rubbing against each other, causing matting. And that is what I used to wear on my head. And I used to be trying to brush through this thing, and you have to be really careful because don't forget, I'm trying to nurture what's underneath. And when I've got wearing an inferior product on my head, you know, it's causing tension trying to work it through. The other thing I was going to tell you, wearing weaves was a big thing then as it is now, but for me, I wear weaves for quite a different reason. I'm not trying to change myself, or I was wearing weaves. It wasn't about changing myself or wanting to be someone else. It was all about protecting my natural hair and what I was nurturing. And because I used it like that, to me it was an accessory that I wore. You know, I've just explained, I took it on and off quite often. But my sole goal was to nurture my natural hair. And that's one of the reasons why we started up this family business, because I think a lot of people, once they're going natural, seem to have a tendency to think, well, they can't put weaves in their hair because it isn't, you know, they're going all natural and they want to, you know, to be natural. But weaves supported me immensely while I was transitioning. And I know a lot of people who try to transition, and it's not easy. You have to have a lot of patience. And because they don't have that patience, they sort of just stop trying to transition and start relaxing again. But I so love the natural hair, and I'm not saying anything about anyone who relaxes, because it's not about that. The beauty of our hair is that we can do so many things and there are so many choices, but what choice that I'm trying to bring to your attention today is the use of weaves as a protective style, because it helped me immensely. And you can see now, so my locks are quite long and they're quite healthy, and I've even gone another stage. I've even stopped dyeing my hair. I'm enjoying that stage now, of not doing anything else, just doing the maintenance and dyeing my and I've actually stopped dyeing my hair, so it's just growing freely, not bothering anybody. So that was one of the other things, and also there are many benefits that comes to wearing weaves, and especially if you are a natural or thinking of transitioning, especially when transitioning. There are times when your hair isn't going to listen to you, it's doing its own thing, and those are mainly in the earlier stages. And I think using a weave, or I know because obviously I've walked that path, will help you through those transitioning times where it's a bit more difficult for you to style. It's not laying how you want to lay it, because even when I was trying to transition in the really early stages, and the hair, obviously it's just doing what it wants to do, and I used to try to do something with it, and I used to have 100 clips in my hair, clipping bits down. It used to get quite stressful, and now I just think, what was I doing? You know, it's no need. It's meant to be a beautiful time when you're getting to know yourself and you're embracing different parts of you and the way you look. It shouldn't have been, or I shouldn't have made it that stressful, and that's what I want to put over to you. If you're transitioning, you know, you don't have to come out with a whole head of hair or 30 inches of hair. You can transition like I did. I mean, I was quite conscious, and I didn't want to come out with a whole head of hair. I wanted to wear my I wanted to wear my weaves quite short. I went shoulder length. You know, sometimes if there was a special occasion, I would wear a longer weave. But that's the beauty of wearing weaves. You can do absolutely anything you want. You can play with the textures, you can play with the colours, the length, the volume. It's totally up to you. Another thing I wanted to cover was in the industry they always talk about Brazilian hair, Peruvian hair. Now what I've found is those hair, you know, they really don't exist. what you're actually looking at is the majority of the hair comes from China or India, so let's say. And virgin hair is hair that's, you know, it's been cut. It may have one or two donors, but it's hair that's been steamed, cleaned, and not chemically processed. So the steaming is how they put in the different kinds of patterns in the hair. So I'll show you. At Noire, we have at the moment 3 textures. So we have a straight, body wave, and a deep wave. And what they do is all these patterns are steamed in. So all these names that you hear, Peruvian, Brazilian, all these are just marketing terms for the hair. Okay, so it's just like all the different patterns. All these patterns are steam processed into the actual hair. So the hair is literally straight like this, and they will steam it to give you the look that you're after. Okay, so it will start off originally like that, and they'll give you the look you're after. So if you're after the deep wave, you'll have the deep wave. And if you want something with a bit of curl, they will steam process the curls into the straight hair to give you the look that you're actually after. I just mentioned some of the benefits of wearing bundles, weaves, as a protective style, but there's other things that come into play and things that I think you should look out for. But obviously, if you bought your hair with me, you wouldn't have to, because I've already done the looking out for you. So we've talked about the hair being 100% virgin hair. There are hair on the market that is a little bit inferior, like the cuticles have been damaged or the hair has been chemically processed. And when the hair is chemically processed, it would damage the cuticles on the hair. The cuticles on the hair is sort of an outer casing, on each strand. It protects the strand of hair, the inner part of the hair. And when that has been chemically damaged, the barrier will be, it sort of shifts, and it catches against each other, and it rubs against each other, so each strand of hair will start rubbing against each other and cause matting. And also, the bundles that I will serve to you are double weft. I don't know whether you can see here. They will have a double weft. And the double weft means there's less shedding, so there's less chance of hair falling out. So that will retain the density of the bundle and your style when it's all put together. All our bundles are they're very lightweight. Okay, which is what you need if you're trying to protect your hair and you're sewing a bundle onto your hair. You don't want anything heavy, to pull down on your natural hair. So these are all our bundles are very lightweight. And as I said, cuticles aligned and steamed processed. They can all be dyed and or bleached. And with the quality of hair that we offer, they can last for several years, which is a good thing. So you can take them out, in and out for several years, and that's another benefit because they're very easy to install and to remove. And maybe if you bought a longer bundle and you've still got it a couple of years later after looking after it very well, and you want a shorter style, just go ahead and you can shorten that. So you can use your bundles in different ways. You can also colour them. Right. Noire is also offering free standard delivery. We have done all year. We've offered this to anybody who makes a purchase with us, and we've been also giving out a free satin hair bag, which is usually £5.50, but we've been giving those away free to to everyone who subscribes to us. Okay, well, thank you very much for tuning in. And as I said before, if you've got any questions, you can just DM me and I'll get back to you with an answer. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you.